Before you get into your first reading activity, before you receive your first reading instruction, and this is going to go from lessons 2.3 through 2.9, I want to make a few comments that may help you to understand how to approach these activities. First of all, 2.3 through 2.9, their primary focus is on teaching you the phonics of the language you're learning. That is to say, the sound that letters and letters in combination make in the particular language that you're learning. The goal is not for you to begin to read out loud at this point, but rather to listen, to observe, and to begin to come up with some hypotheses about how things are said, how combinations of letters are pronounced in this language that you're learning. Later on in Unit 2, you start to do some reading aloud, but that's not really the goal at this point. Secondly, as we're reading in 2.3 through 2.7 specifically, you're going to be reading about the creation of the world as it's laid out in the first chapter of the book of Genesis in the Bible. For me, it's a privilege to be able to use that text as the foundation for our reading instruction, because it's on the Bible and the truth of God's Word that I've based my life. So it's a privilege. It's an honor for me, and one which I'm trying to take very seriously and prayerfully. I do want to say that at the end of every one of the lessons, there's a question and answer time in which I pose questions to you, and I give you a time during which you are to respond. You should stop the video after every question so that you have ample time in which to try to respond to that question. And then start it again after you provided your answer, so as to hear the answers that I provide. Now, it's very important to understand a couple things. One, in some cases, we're talking about some very complex matters about which people have many opinions as to exactly what they mean and exactly what is correct. And I'm trying to limit myself as I speak just to the vocabulary that you've learned in the first 80 whatever classes, first 3 months basically of instruction, or to words which I can easily explain to you. And therefore, that's not an easy task. So understand that I'm not speaking maybe in the most eloquent fashion possible. Secondly, however, I'm also talking about some rather challenging ideas just from my own limited understanding and perspective of the Bible. So be aware that when I give an answer, I'm not calling it the definitive answer regarding the question I'm posing to you. You might well come up with answers which are superior to mine. I wouldn't be surprised by that at all. So just bear that in mind and realize that my answers are only laid out there for you as possible responses to the questions I ask. Okay, you may go ahead and click below on the button that takes you to Lesson 2.3's first reading, and I truly hope it's beneficial for you.